Well, hello there, magic monsters. Welcome to the stream. If you're here, say hello so I know you're here. Otherwise, I'll just talk to myself. I hope you're doing fabulously today. I hope you're having a wonderful time. It's warm. I've got the windows open. Went for a bike ride. Tried to cut up my friend's fake grass. Decided that was a bad idea and stopped. This is the latest integration for Projectile Factory. I was working on this, just doing, they all work I think already, but just doing some basic variety of things so that there's just a variety of different behaviors that you can do. This is the Polygon Arsenal from Arcanor VFX. So this one's cool. Actually, I should show this one. Show it specifically. Check this out. Boom, 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 boom. This particle just already did that. I just have a delayed force on it, just a project force thing that delays it. It also sticks to the thing and sucks things in just a little bit. So that's cool, right? I think it's cool. This one. What else do we got here? Do we have any that follow? This one goes straight for the targets. It finds a new target and then goes straight for it. It's a grenade. It's another grenade. This one goes for them too, little light rocket things. I like that one. Looking for one. There's one here that I really like. That one's neat. There's so many. Oh, this is the one. I made this one myself with stuff that I like playing with the force. I need to make that fade out of existence, but this one, when it hits something, it kind of sucks things in, and that's always fun. See that? And then it lets them go. That one's just floating around. And it looks cool when it's flying through the air too. Whoa, what's that? I don't know what that is. That was a weird effect. Oh, there must be a need to reset something. Interesting. I'll have to fix that. Anyways, is anybody here? Am I alone? Is anybody out there? That's not what we're doing today, though. Today, I should drink more of this coffee because I'm getting tired already. I just started. I'm getting tired, but this is what we're doing today. So I was doing it on my laptop last night while watching my friend's kids, so hence why it's so small. But let's bring this up. All right, this is Muse Behavior. So if you haven't heard of it, it's an experimental package that Unity has provided, and it's technically part of Muse, but you don't need to have a subscription to Muse to use it. You need a Muse subscription to do like AI text to whatever generation, but you can just use it without that. You can just make your own. So I've been trying to figure out how it works. There's no documentation on it, or very minimal documentation. There's an example scene, but and I've not used a behavior trees before. I've used node-based things before, Substance Designer and similar things like that. But I've never used a behavior tree like this. And this is like it cascades left down, top down, and left right. Whereas a node, you can go all over. You know, you can just attach the things wherever. And so basically, I'm trying to get this enemy, this flying eye, to do things when I see him. So I'm actually going to move this guy over here because that's where I start. And so I figure might as well keep him a little closer to where I start. So you can see it in practice. Let's just press play. All right, so I've got him selected. When I've got him selected, I've got this cone of vision there, and it will turn red when he can see me. And then there will be some other stuff in the console that comes up. And the stuff from the console comes from the behavior tree scripts. Oh, maybe it's not doing that debug. But on the behavior tree here, you can see that the can see player is now true. If I walk away, can see player is false. So that's being set on the blackboard on the behavior graph itself. So that's great so far. And I was actually talking to my friend who knows more about this and asking, like, what's the best practice of... interesting, though, that the player's here, but it says that it looks like the... what am I trying to say? The angle here is not indicative of the actual player position. So something's up with that. But... well, like, what's the best practice for mixing and matching? So I've got NPC vision, which is a script, just a classic script, and all it does is the vision. It does nothing but the vision. Sorry, I got distracted. Let's see, sight range, sight angle, and it does all this stuff. It does the gizmo as well, although I want to move that into a gizmos class, a draw gizmos class, so I can, you know, use that otherwise. But what's up, Samuel Play? And then this sends stuff to the blackboard. So we get the agent, the blackboard graph agent, and can see player is just a getter and a setter. We get the value. So if this blackboard value player detected is true, then it returns true, otherwise it returns false. Then we can set it as well, which is using the blackboard try set variable value for can see player. And on the blackboard, that is right here. It's a Boolean. So it's an interesting thing because you can mix and match these. You don't have to use the behavior tree for everything. You can, but you don't have to. So it's just an interesting thing. And so I'm trying to decide, what do I want to do? Do I want to put, like, you can make a script here that looks for the player. Basically just move this stuff into the scripts over here. Like you can, let's see, not this. None of these are scripts. This one's a script though. Whoops. So this is a script, and if I open that, you can see the on update here. So you just put your code above there, your own methods and all that stuff. You can even use static references and do all these other things with it. So there's a lot you can do with that by writing your own scripts. So the question is, do I move NPC vision to something here? Like basically say, instead of move target, look for, do run NPC vision basically. So if we were to do that, we would do this. We would say check vision, NPC vision. We'll say that, check NPC vision. It's an action. Describe your action. Agent tags target. So the action's going to be agent looks, or this looks for player object. I guess player object is going to be a game object, but do we have? We don't have. Oh, target. Yeah, we'll say target object. Okay, so that's going to use that. Let's see. Do we have this? Is that a thing? Game object? I think we can then create that. Then it creates a script for us. So we save that. Here's the script itself. You can see this, although that's not what we were looking for. And then it comes back. And then here it is. So now you can look for this. So I'm not sure how you get... I guess we could just say change this to just be regular text. So we can say NPC looks for target target object. So this is certainly something that can be changed. The target object doesn't have to be the player. And we can use this script in any tree that we create, I suppose. And there's also a concept of subgraph, so I can create a graph that just is kind of like, oh, all the agents do this thing, like, you know, whatever the thing is. So we're going to look for that. And all this is going to do is see if we can see the player. So this is where it gets interesting, because this script does not have any information outside of it. It doesn't know what character it's on or anything like that. All it has access to right now is this target object. So all these variables, you know, I can try get from it, but I can also pass them in here. So maybe that's what I do. All right, so let's try that. Let's see what happens. We need sight range and sight angle. So we're gonna edit the definition, and this is like what's interesting about this is this human readable thing here, with sight range distance and sight angle angle. So this is going to be a float, and this is going to be a float. Confirm edit. So this should, wait, what? Variables. What changed? Oh, wait a minute. No, hold on. Okay, this is regular text. So this actually, I already have a variable for sight distance. Sight distance. It's allergy season. Okay. So this is going to be a float. Sight distance is a float. What changed? Nothing changed. Sight distance is a float. All right, let's see what happens. Did anything break? It warned me that something might break. Doesn't appear that anything broke. All right, so now we have those three things. So now I can move this over, in theory. Well, I guess we have to add sight angle and sets the value of can see player. Now, I've been told that if we set can't see player in this, it will set in the parent graph. So it will set here. I don't know. It didn't make sense to me, but we'll see. All right, so we're going to look for player. So we'll just move, basically, we're going to move this just right over and kind of just try it. So look for player. We'll do this. So we're going to have to bring over our player detection results too. We'll change the gizmos later, maybe. Then so we do that with I don't know. Can we say game object? Does that work? This dot game object dot transform dot position. Okay. I guess it should work. That's my guess then. Okay. And then our sight range is sight distance now. All right. And we're looking for the player. That would probably change in the future, but we'll keep it there for now. All right. We're going to bring over this transform equals game object transform. Sight angle. We're going to move over set player detected. All right. And see, so we can't set it. Try set. Can't do the try set variable. So yeah, I don't know how to get it back up there. Graph, maybe? Nope. I don't know how to set this value. Oh, maybe I have to do dot value. Yeah. Dot object value equal. Okay. So it's dot object value. So I think in this case, we're just going to set it. We're not going to do the check if it's already there. The reason why I had the check if it was already there was in case I wanted to do something on the switch. So sometimes you want to know when it changes states. That's why I was doing that. But all right, reset detection results is just that. No big deal. All right. So this should work then. That's the theory. And now in the graph, it's going to go. We're gonna have to move this over once it loads. I wish we could make this skinnier. It's very long. You know? All right, so we're trying in this order. This one first, then whatever this is. It was just has target player and can't see player. I was going to try a move or something. But let's just try get this working first and see if this works, because this is where I was like, I don't know what the best course of action is here. All right. So now this value, this bool right here, should change when the agency is a player. And I don't know. Yeah, there's no, doesn't look like there's any live feedback here. Or is there? No, it doesn't look like there's any live feedback showing what it's doing. And there's a null reference exception. What's null reference? Maybe something's looking for NPC vision. I don't even know why NPC vision is running. It's turned off. Oh, check NPC vision is. Well, what's the deal then? Debug.log. Look for player. Game object is null. Why is game object null? Well, that's annoying. All right. I would think that this would be set. It's going to be tough if we don't have access to the position. It'd be weird to have to like give the graph our position, because it should know the owner, right? I would think. Yeah, so game object's null, and if a game object's null, we can't do an overlap sphere from that position. We just do transform position. Nope. We can't debug things here because it's in the Unity package, so we can't change anything. Which is a shame. So I don't know where this gets set. Graph owner variable. I don't know. It looks like it should be set is all. I don't know, and that's where it's tough. Yeah, it doesn't work like that, Keith, unfortunately. I don't think it does, at least. Hi, Keith, by the way. No. It's not. See, the thing is, this script isn't on a game object. It's on a node. Or it is a node, rather. It's this node. The graph, though, should have this. This is like straight up. It looks to be the game object associated with the behavior graph, but it looks like it's not being set. Select which game object you want to target for. Okay. How do we do debugging? What does that do? Does that do anything when I press play? Nope. Nothing that I can see. Nope, no idea. No idea. It's frustrating. This is why, I mean, it's an experimental package, but man, I want this to just be more fleshed out because I want documentation because I don't know what to do now. And really, that looks like it should work. Like this is the game object associated with the behavior graph, but it's just not apparently set. All right, well, that's that. I don't know. The problem is I feel like I can't really check anything else because this is like a requirement for this converting the script over. And the other thing about this is like, I'm trying to think like, is this the best way for a very complex? I think it is. It seems like it's a way that so many people have said, yeah, do a behavior tree for a very complex thing. But I'm like, okay, this is an NPC. The NPC doesn't necessarily have to think the player's a bad guy. It might. So I'm going to have another enumerator for like the NPC's feelings about the player. Whether they like the player, hate the player, agnostic to the player. Whether they've ever run into the player, memory stuff, like all that. Oh, I'm tired. I had two 7 a.m. meetings in a row yesterday and today. And both nights I wasn't able to sleep until late because I was watching my friend's kids. So I didn't get much sleep. I don't know. I've got my coffee drink, though. And it's frustrating that I can't debug it. It's frustrating that I don't have access to the code. And I understand value in having things be with package manager so that you can't change it, because I don't necessarily want people changing my code when I do stuff. Like sometimes it's okay, sometimes it's not. But the fact that I can't debug it is very frustrating, because that means I'm literally just stuck. Let's see. This is the sample scene. The sample scene didn't really tell me much. Plus, the behavior graph's now missing. So I don't know what happens when I press play. Is it going to work? Or did the behavior graph disappear? Yeah, the behavior graph disappeared. That's weird. Huh. I can't remember what. Maybe it'll tell me here. The installation process was also like you have to do this whole thing, which is also annoying because I can't remember what the name is, so I can't easily do it again unless it's in here. Good, it is. Muse Behavior. Not remove. I want to re-import the samples. Yes. Now does the agent have one? Nope. Nope. Example graph. Maybe that's it. All right. Press play. See if this works. It's doing all this stuff. All right. Then let's look at the example graph. Self. Oh, so self, agent, game object. So can you just say agent and self? Oh, okay. I guess self is available. I don't. Wait a minute. So if that's the case, can I make the NPC self? Is that doable? I don't have self here. Why don't I have self? What's the difference? The example graph has self up here. Okay, self game object. Set from agent component. This has self. Self. Game object. Does that mean yeah, it's interesting, but you didn't keep using it. I mean, it's still experimental, so yeah, it's a little bit dangerous to use in that regard. What if everything changes and screws you? Where's my scene? Outside scene. Now, when I look at this self, but does that mean every single one I have to apply to self like that? Is that what they did in theirs? Let me go back to theirs. Oh yeah, they do. All right, so they assign it themselves. I wish it was automatic. It should be that game object thing. My guess is that doesn't work. Seems like it should though. Okay, so go back to my scene. Where is my scene? Scenes. These allergies are starting to get to me. I've had the windows open all day. That could be why. Not all day, all afternoon. And I'm tired. All right, so we assign that. And now then in our script, we can use it. We've got NPC here. So NPC dot object value dot transform. So we could also do properties, right? We could do public. I mean, I guess it would be private. Game object. Game object. No, we can't do that. This object. Why can't we do this? Oh, we'd have to do as game object. This transform. Huh. So it auto-filled self. Interesting. Maybe I deleted that, not knowing what it was or something. All right. This transform. You can property the heck out of it. This position. All right, so this position, sight distance to that. We don't need this anymore. Whoops. Every time I accidentally hit the delete key, it slows down. So this transform and this transform. All right. I have a feeling this will work now. Let's see. Doesn't work. First of all, we can change this debug. Let's see this position. Debug.log. This position is that. Debug.log. Oh, you know what? We haven't set sight distance. $25. And why don't we have sight angle listed here? New float. Sight angle. I thought we did that. Okay, so I didn't just... Oh. Okay, I didn't assign any of those. Maybe that was part of my issue. Okay. So I'm gonna default this to 60 for everything. Default the sight distance to 25 for everything. Maybe that will change something then. Can I then do, let's see, can equals true. No, you just have to do that still. Okay. All right. Whoops. Okay. I just want to move it and just see the position change. It does indeed appear to change. So that's cool. Okay. Can we make it see? Oh, it does. All right. So it appears to be working now. I don't know why the gizmos are working. Because that script is off. Weird. It works even when it's turned off. So I'm going to remove this component entirely. Try again just to make sure that component wasn't doing something. We're going to just look for this bool to see can't see player goes on. All right, so that goes on. All right, so that is being set properly. That's nice. All right, then we want to do the gizmos. So draw gizmos. not on draw gizmos. We're just going to say draw gizmos. We're going to create that method. We're going to put it down here though. And we're going to create a new static actions. I want to move this method into a new static class I can call from anywhere that draws gizmos, etc. Call this draw gizmos in the Magic Pig Games namespace. Let's see. I think I might already have one actually. Let me see. Draw gizmos. Nope, I don't. All right. Let's make it here. Oh, I already have one. Oops. I already did this. My bad. Draw gizmos. Delete that. I forgot I had already done that. I didn't even read the code before I started fiddling around with it. So I have custom gizmos. So what do I do? Draw site gizmos. Okay, so let's see. All right, we're going to assume that we're only showing when selected. This. I'm going to change this to this game object just to make it more obvious. That's the game object, not the node or something like that. So we're only going to play if it's plain, or do the gizmo if it's plain, and the selected object contains this at least. And we won't worry about this bool check. We'll just always do it. Usually I have this set in the inspector, but for this one I'll just say color.red and color.gray. And then custom gizmos. Import the missing references. Magic Pig Games, that's what we were missing. And then we'll do this transform, site angle, and site range. Or site distance in this case, color. All right, let's see if this works. See if it comes up. Well, it won't come up now because we don't have it selected, but if we select it, it doesn't come up. It says null reference exception. Where is that? Why is that? What is that? Handles. Custom gizmos, 18. Is the transform null? Debug.log if or transform is null. Oh, hello, the bull. Are you looking at yourself in the mirror again? Huh. Transform is not null, but still getting a null reference exception on really this line. I don't know what this line is. Can't even load it. Handles. There we go. What line was it? 1,339. There's a lot of lines in this one. Set camera. Oh. But that's... Huh. We have no reference to the camera here. So it's just basically saying, I think it's saying that the camera can't be found. Huh. I'm not sure how to debug this one. Let me see if the AI, the good old AI knows. I'm getting a null reference exception on handles. Appears to be something about camera. Any thoughts? I mean, really, it's just, has anyone on the internet ever said anything about this? I mean, maybe the node doesn't get a reference to the camera. And that would be a shame. Okay. So if we assume that, then what we can do instead, I'm assuming that the node doesn't have, for whatever reason of the way it's set up, doesn't have access to whatever this needs. So we will remove this instead. Whoops. What did I just do? Oh, I removed too much. And we won't draw gizmos here. Instead, we'll move this back to NPC Vision. And what we'll do here is only draw the gizmos. So what we're going to do is public float sight distance is going to be not this. Well, see, this is where it gets tricky. I guess this is where we can set the sight distance and stuff, and if the we're eventually using game modules. If the stats change, this is where we do the computations for the sight distance and all that. but then we'll have no behaviors in the node graph here that says change the site distance. Like we could have behaviors say set site distance, set site angle, and those individual scripts would look up in the game modules, right? So this one wouldn't have those. This would instead... Yeah, let's try that. I want to try doing it that way. So we're going to remove these entirely from this. We're going to remove that. We'll keep those. We'll keep that. Site distance is now going to be agent.blackboard.try get variable site distance out site distance. We're not going to return that. We're doing that, and then we're returning that. Player detected. We have Blackboard variables. Let's move those up. Private float, site distance, private float, site range. Oh, I see. These are just the variables. I got it. No. Seems like a convoluted way to get a value. If it is float, return the value, otherwise value. If the value is float, return the value, otherwise return 0. I guess we have to check if it's a value. And we'll set it there. All right. Public float site angle. All right. AI did its job. All right, so for the update, we're not going to look for player. We don't have any update at all. We're not doing anything on enable. We're not doing look for player. We're not saying the player detected. We don't need to reset anything. We will do the on validate, and we will do the on gizmos, and we'll do the site angle and site distance. This time we're now getting them from the Blackboard variables so that the Blackboard can change it. Let's see what happens. All right, so now NPC Vision is just doing its own little gizmos. And it appears to be working so far. Let's see if it can turn red as we get in there. It does. All right, so NPC Vision is working. And we can remove this debug. All right. So this is, I'm going to rename this to be Gizmos, and we're going to move this into a parent class as well. So we're going to call this Vision Gizmos. And then we're going to make a brand new one, brand spanking new class called Draw Gizmos, or we'll call it Draw Gizmos. And this is going to inherit from that. And we need now to move in these. but not the site one. And then we remove them from here. I'm going to ignore that. I think if you have this, then you're doing it. If you're not, then you're not. We can move that. That's old. And then we'll move this to its own little thing. I know, it looks exactly the same as it did before, though. You know that, right? Although, last week or 2 weeks ago, the fly was shooting laser beams, but now it can't shoot laser beams because I took away the code. Because now I want to try it with this node-based or behavior tree-based thing instead. Do it like all the cool kids do, you know? All right, we should also set a... So what gets me is that the player is moves away, but they're still being detected. See? Like, clearly the player is not within that cone. And in fact, it's supposed to be 60 degrees, right? 60 degrees. And if we go just top down, I don't think it's reasonable. This looks like, you know, if this is 90 degrees, this looks like, I don't know. This looks more like 60 degrees. Like I could imagine 6 of these going around. This looks like 90 degrees. But it's being detected at 90 degrees. See, right there. So let's quickly look at that. So this is our super very wide thing, and you can't make this narrower. You can't just. That's a shame. Cancel. All right. So, whoop. What did I just do? Undo. Site distance. Woo. Edit script. Look for player. Oh, angle to player is the site angle divided by 2. I bet I have to do because it's gonna be left and right. That's my theory. Let's find out if it works. Yeah, it could have been 45. I can't remember. You know, I've been working on this game for 7 years. In theory. All right. Ah, there we go. So I was just not dividing by 2. So it was actually 120 degrees. It was 60 degrees to the left and to the right. I just wasn't dividing by 2. There you go. There we go. So now it's right in that zone. All right. Okay. So what's the next step then? So now we've got the player can be seen. So I need to learn how to do subgraphs because now I'm thinking I need to add more things. Like one of the things is I know that the NPCs might not all be bad guys. Some of them will be good guys. Some of them will never ever hate the player. Others will always hate the player. Goblins, for instance, except for one goblin that you'll have to talk to for a quest. If you don't attack them, then you can talk to them. But if you attack them right away, you can't. You lost the quest. You don't even realize it, but you lost it already. So I need like an enumeration, which you can add here. But do I add everything to the blackboard or do I have a subgraph that holds that data? I don't know. Well, let's add it for now. What should we call this one? Interest in player or relationship to player? And we're going to be always friendly and friendly. And then neutral. Neutral is going to be like if you attack it, they'll suddenly not like you anymore. Enemy, and then always enemy. And so we're going to start at neutral. Oh, interesting. It's having me save it somewhere else. Okay. Scripts. We'll say enums. And then see what pops up. I guess we're going to have to set it on the character itself as the default. And maybe we'll just set this one to be enemy just for simplicity's sake at the moment. Okay. All right, so now we are definitely checking something. Now we are... This is where I'm like, okay. If we have a target position, then we should walk to it. If we don't, then can we see the player? Can we do multiple? So we can't do multiple, but we can do if. Can we not change this name? We're going to default to neutral, I guess. Can't even change that. Okay. This doesn't work. Bug. But I want it to be equal to a number of things. So maybe this is not the right way to do it. Let's see. Create new add. Switch. Whoa. All right. If we can see the player, then we will decide what to do there. See, it's getting complicated, right? Already. Ooh. So the idea is going to be, okay, if you have a target position, then you're going to go to that position. If you don't, if you can see the player, then you're going to do something about that. I mean, if you can't see the player, then you're going to find a new target position, just a random position, and then you'll have a target position and you'll go to it. So this is going to be the move to target position area. If you can see the player, if you don't have a position and you can see the player, then it's going to check, are you always friendly? Are you friendly, etc. And there might be some details. So like maybe the always friendly will look at the player within a certain distance, or all of them will look at the player within a certain distance, or maybe just the two friendlies. And the neutral ones will just find their own new spot. The enemies, though, and the always enemies, these two, since they can see the player, will find a new spot near the player to either do their attacks, their range attacks, or do their melee attacks. And then once they have that, they'll have a target position. If they're not on the target position, so that's another check. If they don't have one, but they're on the target position or something like that, we'll have to figure out the logic. Then they do the attacks. But that's where I feel like you should go into subgraphs. So I don't know. It's going to get complicated very, very quickly, and you can already see it's like getting there where it's like, wait a minute, I'm going to have to start doing areas and stuff. But I think that's going to be for another day because I have to go. Excuse me. So that was something interesting setup. More to learn, more to do. I need to learn how to do subgraphs and how to appropriately use them, because I feel like a lot of this needs to be changed, or it can't be. I can't just go spaghetti or whatever the vertical version is of that. But all right. Hey everybody, thanks for hanging out. I hope you had a fun time. I had a fun time. It was a fun hour of playing with this. I'm glad I was able to get past the whole figuring out what the game object thing is. I do think there should just be a built-in self game object that just makes a lot of sense. It's going to be like every single person is going to need that, or 95% of them will need that. So that's something. But all right. Unless there's a world where their graphs aren't on the self, so I guess maybe it doesn't. But anyways, I don't know. Thanks for hanging out. Have a great time. I hope you have a great weekend if I don't see you before then. Bye-bye.